There was a city so advanced, so powerful, that Plato wrote 2400 years ago. In a single day and night, this entire civilization sank into the sea. And to this day, the world's best divers, scientists, and archaeologists have searched for this city and never found it. So here's the question: did Atlantis actually exist? And if it did, where is it really? By the end of this video, I'll show you 3 of the most shocking theories. Some you probably haven't heard anywhere else, and at the end, I'll reveal one clue that even confuses scientists themselves. So stay till the end, because the answer will surprise you. The story begins around 360 BC, when the Greek philosopher Plato described an island in 2 of his writings, Timaeus and Critias, larger than Africa and Asia combined. He said Atlantis was an advanced empire, rich with gold and silver, built in concentric rings, with a military so strong it conquered much of the Mediterranean world. But then, the gods grew angry, and in a single day and night of earthquakes and floods, this entire civilization was swallowed by the sea. So the real question is, did Plato invent this story just to teach a lesson? Or was he retelling a real event from the deep past? This is where it gets interesting. Plato also gave a location beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which most historians take to mean past the Strait of Gibraltar, out into the Atlantic Ocean. Because of this, for centuries, people searched the Atlantic itself for the lost city. In 1882, an American writer named Ignatius Donnelly wrote an entire book claiming Atlantis was a real, sunken continent right in the middle of the Atlantic. His idea became so popular that people still believe it today. But once modern plate tectonics came along, scientists proved there was never a large landmass in the middle of the Atlantic. The coastlines of Africa and South America still show they were always connected, never a separate sunken continent in between. Then there's the Antarctica theory. In 1958, Charles Hapgood, whose book actually had a foreword written by Albert Einstein, proposed that Earth's crust suddenly shifted thousands of years ago, and the land that is now Antarctica was once a warm, habitable place, and that place was Atlantis. When the crust shifted, the civilization was buried under ice. But again, once plate tectonics were properly understood, this theory was mostly dismissed too. Now, here's a clue that barely gets discussed. In the Sahara Desert of Mauritania, there's a geological formation called the Richat structure, also known as the Eye of the Sahara. It's made up of perfect concentric circles, almost identical to how Plato described Atlantis's city layout. Some researchers argue that if this area was once underwater, it would look exactly like Plato's description. The problem? There's salt in the ground, but no surrounding evidence that seawater ever actually covered the area. Now here's something most videos don't cover. In 2025, an archaeologist named Michael Donnellan claimed at something called the Cosmic Summit that he had found sonar scans of submerged, concentric walls, and stated with full confidence that Atlantis had finally been discovered. He even said, "I have seen these structures with my own eyes. I have touched them with my own hands." But mainstream scientists immediately dismissed the claim. There was no peer-reviewed evidence, just blurry sonar images. Similarly, back in 2004, a researcher named Robert Sarmast claimed to have found structures near Cyprus, nearly 1.4 kilometers underwater. His theory was based on something called the Messinian salinity crisis, a real event where the Mediterranean Sea nearly dried up completely millions of years ago. He argued Atlantis could have existed on that dry seabed before it was flooded again. But experts called his images far too vague and unconvincing to count as proof of anything man-made. There's also a lesser-known, but genuinely fascinating theory involving Sardinia. The island was home to the Nuragic civilization, a powerful Bronze Age trading culture whose temples show evidence of bull worship, which lines up strikingly with Plato's description of the Atlanteans. And here's the interesting part. Egyptian records mention mysterious raiders called the Sea Peoples, and one group among them, the Sherden, is believed by many scholars to have come from Sardinia itself. And if we're talking about actual physical evidence, here's something that might surprise you. Orichalcum, the mysterious metal Plato specifically mentioned as being unique to Atlantis, was actually found in a 2,600-year-old shipwreck. Whether that's just coincidence or something more, even scientists aren't fully sure. Now here's the answer I promised at the start. Most historians and archaeologists agree on one thing. Atlantis was never meant to be a literal, real place. Plato was a philosopher, not a historian. He wrote the story of Atlantis to teach a lesson to his own society, that pride, greed, and unchecked power can destroy even the greatest civilizations. It was an allegory, a warning, not a travel guide. But here's the twist. The story's inspiration was very real. The strongest evidence points to Santorini, once known as Thera. That's where the Minoan civilization thrived. Europe's first advanced civilization, with paved roads, its own writing system, and stunning palaces. Then, around 3,600 years ago, a massive volcanic eruption tore the island apart, and the Minoan civilization suddenly collapsed. That scale, that timeline, that sudden destruction, it matches Plato's Atlantis almost perfectly. So the real answer is, Atlantis probably isn't hiding in one specific spot waiting to be found. It's more like humanity's collective memory of real, collapsed civilizations, the Minoans, the Black Sea floods, and others, all blended by Plato into one powerful symbolic story. And maybe that's the biggest lesson Atlantis leaves us with. Every civilization that believes it's unbeatable can still fall. Whether it was the Minoans or any other great empire, no power lasts forever. So next time you hear about some ancient, vanished civilization, ask yourself, are we, in some way, building our own Atlantis right now? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, because we dive into mysteries like this every week, and let me know in the comments which theory you actually believe.